Hey there, Trailblazers, I hope you guys are all doing well. So, just a few hours ago, we have received some new juicy information related to new content and character changes coming to Honkai Star Rail in the upcoming updates. This includes a brand new skin for SEELE, as well as her getting direct buffs to her kit, updated kit changes for both of the limited 3.1 units, as well as some new info related to Mr. RECA. But before we begin, let me just give a quick disclaimer that everything in this video is taken from various different sources and can be subject to change at any point in time. With that out of the way, let's begin without wasting any more time. Let's first start with the info related to SEELE getting a brand new skin, as well as her getting direct buffs to her kit in the upcoming future. So according to a very reliable source with a fairly decent track record of reporting information accurately in the past, SEELE will be getting a brand new overhaul in the upcoming updates, as not only will she be getting a new skin, which is specifically stated to be a summer skin by the source, but will also be getting direct buffs to her kit as well. Now this is some very exciting news to many Honkai Star Rail fans, especially for SEELE enjoyers such as myself, since not only are we finally getting a skin for the character, which will make a lot of SEELE fans very happy, but SEELE is also finally getting direct buffs to her kit, something which many people in the community have been heavily requesting for a while, as SEELE today has been completely power crept by many of the newer units, which makes it nearly impossible for a lot of SEELE players to complete the current endgame content. So by buffing the older characters such as SEELE, it will not only revitalize her place in the meta, but will also make her a highly sought-after unit once again. And I suspect Hoyo is doing this for this exact same reason, due to the current rerun banners sales being very low as a result of the insane amount of power creep being present in the game currently, so almost nobody goes for the reruns of older units, as most players are aware by this point that they become heavily outdated after just a couple of updates by newer, stronger characters. So that's pretty much all of the current information we know so far related to SEELE's new skin and potential future buffs to her in-game kit. Next up, let's now go over some info we have received so far related to another new upcoming character, which is none other than Mr. RECA. So according to some information from a brand new source, who stated that Mr. RECA will be a 4-star character that follows the remembrance path and serves the role as a healer. Additionally, he is also said to have a basic attack animation where he smashes the enemies with a giant film tape, which honestly sounds kind of silly. But if you think about it, it kind of fits with his role of being Penacony's film director. Furthermore, according to another source, Mr. RECA will not be released during version 3.2 like we all previously expected, as his kit is constantly being altered, so his exact release date remains unclear for now. Lastly, let's now talk about the kit changes for the upcoming 3.1 characters. First, let's start with the changes for TRIBBIE. Starting with the talent, where TRIBBIE launches a follow-up attack when other characters in the party use their respective ultimate. This talent effect has now been limited to triggering 1 time per character, and the trigger count for other characters is reset when TRIBBIE uses her ultimate. This limit was likely put in place to prevent this talent from being abused by using fast ulting characters, which can previously be built to get their ultimates back up almost every turn, allowing TRIBBIE to spam her follow-up attacks. Next up is TRIBBIE's Trace 3, which previously regenerated 30 points of energy for TRIBBIE at the start of the battle. But now, along with the 30 energy, it has now been buffed to give additional 1.5 points of energy for every enemy target hit by ally attacks. Moving on, there is also the buff to TRIBBIE's signature light cone, which has now been buffed from only regenerating 9 points of energy after the wearer of the light cone launches a follow-up attack to now regenerating 12 points of energy. Both of these changes are pretty nice, as they greatly help in increasing the uptime for activating TRIBBIE's ultimate. And lastly, there are the changes to some TRIBBIE's Eidolons, starting with her E2, which has now been replaced with the effect from TRIBBIE's E4, which increased the additional damage dealt by the zone created by TRIBBIE's ultimate to 120% of the original damage. Furthermore, whenever the zone does additional damage, it additionally deals 1 extra instance of additional damage. And as for the E4, it has now been replaced with the original effect from TRIBBIE's E1, which let all allies that are present in the party to ignore 18% of the target's defense when Numinosity is active. Next up are the changes to MYDEI's kit, starting with his ultimate, which has now been buffed from restoring 10% of MYDEI's HP to now 20%. Additionally, instead of putting MYDEI in the proof of death state for 2 turns, which triggered the previous 10% HP regeneration, MYDEI now instead gains 20 points of charge for his talent. Additionally, MYDEI's enhanced skill Godslayer Be God now prioritizes the last main target hit by his ultimate attack. The 20% HP regeneration buff is pretty nice. And the ultimate now making MYDEI's enhanced auto skill now prioritize the last main target hit is honestly a godsend. As long as you use the ultimate on the desired target, the enhanced auto skill will almost always be used on that enemy, instead of being wasted by the AI fodder mobs that don't need to be targeted. Next is MYDEI's first trace, which previously gave him death immunity as long as he had proof of death when inside the Vendetta state from his talent, which now has been slightly nerfed to only triggering 3 times in a single battle. This is honestly not that big of a deal. Getting death immunity for up to 3 times is still a lot, as you shouldn't even be dying that many times with him in the first place. And lastly, there are the changes to MYDEI's talent and third trace, where the part of the talent, which increased the charge he received from the damage sustained from enemy attacks, and also his incoming healing by 1.66% and 0.5% respectively, for every 100 points of MYDEI's max HP that exceeded 6,000 points. This effect has instead now been moved to his third trace, with some modifications, where for every 100 points of MYDEI's max HP that exceeds beyond 6,000 points, the charge MYDEI receives from the damage sustained from enemy targets increases by 2.5%, and his incoming healing increases by 0.75%, tallying up to 4,000 points of HP in excess. So not only has this effect from the talent been transferred to this trace, but the charge gain and incoming healing bonus has also been slightly buffed. And lastly, there has also been some changes to MYDEI's first 2 Eidolons, which had their effects swapped. Starting with his E1, this has now replaced with the effect from MYDEI's E2, where MYDEI's enhanced auto skill Godslayer Be God deals 30% more damage to the primary target and becomes imaginary damage dealt to all enemies equal to the damage multiplier applied to the primary target. While the effect from his E2 has now been replaced with the E1 effect instead, which states that when MYDEI was in the Vendetta state from his talent, the damage dealt by him ignored 15% of the enemy's defense. And additionally, each time healing is received, 40% of the healed amount will be converted into charge that is based on MYDEI's max HP. So that's basically all of the current changes done to both TRIBBIE and MYDEI's kit in the recent update to the beta. So that's pretty much all of the current information that I have for this video. If you found the info in this video helpful, feel free to give it a like. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all the latest HSR news and information. That's it for now, so I'll see you in the next video.